avoidant partners fear of losing themselves in the relationship. If you're the withdrawing partner, you may perceive your partner's needs and requests for emotional support or their interruptions in your day as a source of irritation and a threat to your freedom. You may be concerned that their needs are going to be never ending and that they'll never be satisfied with what you give them. And this activates your anxiety about losing yourself in the relationship and can drive you to want to put distance between you and your partner. Maybe you ignore them or try to push them away. Or maybe you start to spend even less time with them in order to protect your freedom and your independence. Now, of course, these are the very behaviors that are likely to further activate the anxiety of the pursuing partner. And at this point, if you're the pursuing partner, you're likely extremely distressed and desperate for closeness with your partner. You may even accuse your partner of not caring for you in an attempt to get their attention and to take you seriously.
Yeah, and that can, and again, she's kind of reiterating the characteristics of the anxious avoidant trap, so we won't talk about it too much. That can be one of the most frustrating things that, as the anxious partner, the very stuff that you do when you're triggered is exactly the stuff that causes the avoidant to withdraw and pull away, unfortunately. So the more you protest, the more you try to chase them and cling to them, the more it's just going to trigger their fears of engulfment and losing themselves and losing their freedom, and it causes them to pull away. So the key to breaking the cycle is to stop chasing and all that stuff. When you kind of, which is funny, that's actually how a lot of relationships between anxious and avoidance, and sometimes the avoidant will break up with the anxious, but oftentimes the anxious person will just get tired of chasing and just stop chasing. And then the avoidant person's like, wait, no, you're supposed to be chasing me. And then, anxious person's like, you know what? I think I'm just done.
But in turn, if you're the withdrawing partner, this escalation only feels like a further imposition and threat to your independence. And at this point, you may push your partner away or start accusing them of being irrational, overly sensitive, or far too needy. And I'm sure it's clear how this really escalates in a relationship. Now, at some point, either or both parties may realize that there's a real risk of losing the relationship here, and both may relent. If you're the anxious partner, you may give in, you may apologize, say you're being too sensitive, give your partner their space, but ultimately still feel emotionally neglected and somewhat abandoned in your relationship.
Definitely have done all
those
things.
If you're the avoidant or withdrawing partner, you may decide to give your partner some reassurance, spend some time with them in order to placate them, but ultimately doing so with an attitude of feeling burdened and also feeling no small amount resentful for this imposition on your time and your independence. In essence, neither partner really feels seen or heard, and neither feel like their needs are being met. The good news is, if both partners are willing and motivated, it's imminently possible to change this conflict. But even if it's just you deciding to work on your part, your behavior will have a knock-on effect on your partner's reactions and their response to you. So it is possible to create some shift in the relationship, even if at this time it's only you deciding to make a change. So let's look at 5 steps that you can take to begin to transform.
And before we get into the steps, yeah, I do want to completely echo what she's. Sorry, her music is so good. I just turned off the music in the background of the stream. It is completely possible for these types of relationships to be fixed. I don't want to introduce people to the topic and then be like, you're fucked. The only solution is to not date an avoidant person, or if you're an avoidant person, to not date an anxious person. It can be worked through. Both people, and she's about to get into the steps of how to do that. I will say the key, though, is that both people have to be willing to do the work. She is kind of right that if one person really steps up and can really do the internal work and become secure themselves, then a lot of times it can kind of encourage the other person to step up also, because if you show up as more secure, then that can kind of help buoy their stuff, and you guys can kind of both move towards a point of security. I will say that's not always the case, though. Sometimes it is actually the case that if the other person is really, really severely avoidant or really, really severely anxious, and they're not willing to do the work, which unfortunately tends to be the case with avoidance more often, because avoidants don't self-reflect and get defensive and blame. So anxious people are, again, overwhelmingly more likely to seek relationship advice. Is what it is. But if it's really bad, then sometimes there's no hope unless both people are willing to step up and do the work. So it's a hard thing, unfortunately.
This conflict. Number 1, try to discover the stories underneath the conflict. How does your and your partner's past experiences color your perceptions of each other and of your relationships? It's important to do this with a spirit of curiosity and empathy. The chances are that neither you nor your partner are wholly in the right or wholly in the wrong. Both of you bring your own unique sensitivities to the relationship. Seeking to understand rather than to judge can create empathy and even compassion for each of your experiences. It can be helpful to think about your histories as the stories that lie underneath the conflict. If you're the more anxious person, you may be able to communicate to your partner, the story I'm telling myself
what's up,
is that
How
you don't
goes
really
it?
care about me,
How's
and
your
in the
night going,
end,
man?
I'll always be alone. If you're the more avoidant person, you may be able to share with your partner, the story I'm telling myself is that I'll never be enough for you. It's best to have these conversations
week,
when
man?
you're not
Welcome
in
in.
the
Good
midst
to
of
see
a
ya.
conflict, because when you're in the midst of a conflict, it's much harder to empathize and to think clearly. But being able to take a step back and understand these stories outside of a conflict, when you can both empathize and understand each other, can be a really important foundation for the next step. Step 2 is to map out the conflict. As you begin to understand both your own and your partner better, you can begin to map out the conflict cycle between the two of you. This can help to create some distance between you and the conflict that you're experiencing. Creating some distance between you and the conflict can allow you to look at it from the outside, and in so doing, you can begin to see each other as allies in solving this conflict rather than as enemies who need to fight each other in order to get your needs met. And
that can be one of the most frustrating things. If you've lost a relationship due to this cycle, it's like, damn it, I know about this now. Oh, if only I had known about it back then, you know? And so if you're currently in a relationship and you're stuck in this trap, really becoming aware of it and then doing some of the advice that she suggests, which I really like this video. Very spot on advice. Very good. There's a reason she's a doctor in clinical psychology. Then it's absolutely possible to save it. But even just, if you've already lost a relationship due to this cycle happening, totally possible to at least learn and be better off in your next relationship, or, whatever. Maybe your avoidant ex comes back after 6 months of ghosting you, or whatever the case may be. As they often do, unfortunately.
you begin to see each other.
Let's see. Flame says, it's going good. I took the wifey to the Halloween bash. She went with her friends as clowns. Nice. Did you dress up at all for Halloween? I did not do anything. I felt very guilty about it. I was like, at some point this week, should I do a Halloween stream where I dress up? And I'm not about that life, Flame. Did you dress up as anything?
Allies in trying to resolve this conflict. That leads very nicely into step 3, which is to de-escalate the conflict when it happens. Rather than trying to stop it entirely, accept that the conflict is likely to continue at least for some time. But by getting some distance, you can become more aware of it when it's happening in the moment and take a step back before joining the anxious avoidant tango. You can ask yourself, what can I do to alleviate my partner's fear and better meet their needs in this moment? That leads very nicely onto step 4, which is to change your behaviors. If you're the pursuing person, how can you value your partner's need for autonomy and freedom? Try to view your partner's independence as a genuine need rather than as a threat to your relationship.
I love that. Like, this is such a pog take, man. And I think it's such a marker of people who have really done the work. Again, I've said this all the time on this stream. I want you guys that are out there looking for relationship advice, or even trying to solve the mystery and pick apart the pieces of what the hell happened in past relationships you've been in that haven't worked out, or if you're currently in a relationship that's not working out, be very careful who you look to for advice, because there is a lot of toxic relationship advice out there. You know that it's good advice if buried in it somewhere is this insistence on both people taking accountability, not villainizing the other person and pointing the finger at them. If that's the advice that you're taking, please stop taking that advice, because it's only going to ruin your chances of having a relationship with the person you're with or anyone else. But the key is to take accountability for both sides and say, hey, ultimately, I would love it if my partner would change overnight into exactly who I want them to be, but ultimately only I can change my behavior. So I just love in this video, she's so good about like even being empathetic to the avoidant if you're anxious, or being empathetic to the anxious person if you're avoidant, and also really putting the accountability on yourself to change, because ultimately that's all we control. Like, pog-ass take. I love it. She took the kids out for Halloween while I gave out candies. Nice. The space for the bash was a haunted house yesterday. Lots of fun this past year. Dang. You guys went to a haunted house too. I did that last Halloween, actually. I went to this really cool haunted house with a group of friends. I totally did not go out all this year, but sounds like they all had fun. That's cool, man. So you stayed home and gave out candies. Nice, nice, very nice. How are things with the wifey going, Flame? You guys doing good? Wife and kids, man. Flame, how old are you, man? I forget again. Remind me again. I'm jealous. You got a wife and kids, and you probably
express interest, support, and even admiration for the things that are important to them. As you make space for your partner's independence, they're likely to feel soothed and feel more comfortable with getting closer to you. At the same time, it's equally important not to deny your need for closeness and intimacy. But consider how you communicate these with your partner.
34 with... Oh, shit! Are we dead on exactly the same age? Man, you're still ahead of me in the game, though. Whew. Gotta work on the wife and kids part, man. We're working on it. All you single ladies in the chat, you know, hit up your boy. You know what I mean?
Ways that feel more
very
like
emotionally available. It's great.
Than a demand or imposition. This might mean you need to accept feelings of anxiety at times without immediately seeking reassurance from your partner.
That's so funny. I used to have I had a phase where I had a long ass Viking beard. I've got like pictures up on my Facebook or whatever. Haven't had a beard in quite a while, but beard life, dude. It's a commitment. One of these days you'll have to post a selfie inside the Discord so we can see your glorious beard, man. I will be very jealous, I'm sure.
Build your confidence that you can cope with these difficult feelings on your own. By tolerating your difficult feelings and creating space for your partner to approach you, you also will get to assess whether or not your fears...
Also, I got Phasma, so definitely on Sunday, I'm planning on just hanging out and gaming all night. Of course, you're always welcome to game, my friend. But yes, we'll definitely be playing copious amounts of Phasma on Sunday. So I know you said you were practicing with the wifey the other day, so you are most certainly invited, my friend.
...of abandonment are unfounded. You'll find out whether or not your partner will come to you of their own accord when given the space and time to do so.
Yep.
And by not triggering their fear of being overwhelmed and engulfed and losing themselves in a relationship, you may make it much more likely that they will. If you're on the more withdrawing side of this dynamic, be aware of how your need for space and independence may feel anxiety-provoking to your partner and may leave them with a sense of feeling abandoned or alone in the relationship. Try to see your partner's needs with kindness and compassion rather than as burdens on you. If you can intentionally create space for your partner's feelings and empathize with them, you may find that it's possible to soothe your partner's anxiety. Remember that empathy doesn't mean that you have to agree with your partner or think that everything that they're feeling is completely rational. However, if you're willing to listen to them and show concern for how they're feeling, they're likely to become far more soothed and much less in need of your reassurance. Also experiment more with what it's like to share more of yourself with your partner, to lean on them for emotional and practical support so you have the experience of not only giving in a relationship but also receiving. And this can ultimately help you see relationships more as sources of support rather than as sources of burden and demand. Be intentional about creating closeness and intimacy with your partner, especially if you're engaging in a lot of independent pursuits. Don't wait for your partner to approach you. See if you can make some time for them and initiate contact before they come to you. This can do a lot to allay their fear of abandonment, allowing them to feel valued and important to you. By meeting your partner's needs in this way, it's very likely that they're going to become less needy and more independent. And step 5, try to nurture appreciation. Anxious and avoidant attachment styles each bring their own challenges to any relationship. However, they also bring their own strengths. And if you are the more withdrawing partner, see if you can appreciate the effort that your partner puts in to maintaining the relationship, ensuring that your emotional life as a couple doesn't fall off the agenda. And likewise, if you're the more pursuing partner, see if you can appreciate your partner's insistence on independence and maintaining your own separate identities. This kind of distance can help to create desire and sustain passion in a relationship. If both partners are willing to understand and take care of each other as best they can, it's possible that your differences in needs can become a source of creativity and spark in your relationship. Healthy relationships involve both independence and intimacy. So each of you, with your respective attachment styles and needs, has an important contribution to make to the life of your relationship. But a warning. It takes two to tango, but only one person to stamp all over someone else's kindness, goodwill, and generosity. As you do your part to resolve a relationship conflict, it's going to become much clearer whether or not your partner is willing to do theirs.
Yeah,
and sometimes it's best
so much
to
you can
leave
do if
the
they don't
dance
want
floor
to step up.
entirely until you have someone who's willing and able to dance with you, rather than trying to continue to resolve a relationship conflict if the efforts aren't going both ways. If you are navigating these...
And I think that's the thing that anxious people can get caught in a lot, of just like doing all of the work for a relationship to make it work. And again, like I always say, it takes 50, there's 50% responsibility on both sides in a relationship. And it would be wonderful if you could show up perfectly and have the other partner step up. Sometimes they will, but and unfortunately, not to shit on avoidance more than I already do, but a lot of times, avoidance aren't always the best at self-reflection. They're not always the best at changing. And so some will, absolutely some will. I'm a part of a community right now where there's all different types of attachment styles. Some of them are avoidance, and they're super awesome people who've done a lot of work on themselves. But yeah, ultimately, there's only so much work that you can do to change yourself if the other person's not willing to step up to the plate too, because they have 50% of the responsibility for why things are not working out too, right? Let's see. Flame says, "Oh, nice. Can't wait to see how you'll like the game. Sorry, I want to hear your mental health talks too. Feel like you're interrupting." No, you're not interrupting at all. We unfortunately just got to
kind of relationship
here
challenges.
of talking about mental health
check
stuff.
out
It's
my
been
other
about
videos.
2 hours. We're about to switch over to games here because we've got somebody waiting on us to game. But
on attachment style that I will link
there'll
to
be more
in the
mental health
description.
talks for sure.
These will help you understand yourself and your partner better. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit the like button and
No, her stuff is really good. Honestly, I'm gonna have to drop her a sub. I gotta check out more of her stuff because it's really good. But yeah, so that's it in a nutshell. I know we've been about 2 hours in at this point talking about the anxious avoidant trap. And Flame, I forget if you've told me what you think your attachment style is and what your wifey's attachment style are. That's pretty much all the time we have for mental health topics for the night. Hopefully you guys learned something. Sunday is the big 200 follower celebration, which we're rocketing past. And also we just crossed 1,000 followers on Instagram. We're up to 1,020 now. So we're killing it right now, yo. Social media game is on point up in here. So we're definitely going to be celebrating on Sunday. I don't drink a lot, but I might get like a single alcoholic beverage to celebrate. I know that sounds weak as hell, but yeah, so we'll be hanging out and playing games and stuff. I'm going to hop into the Discord here because Dark King is over here probably wondering where the hell I'm at. Hello? What's up? Hold on one second. So yeah, we'll continue talking about.
It depends on the map too, but then like even on close range maps and higher competitive later lobbies, you gotta have a poke weapon. It's just too important.
Yeah, higher level lobbies, people just eat way less. You gotta be more conservative.
Yep.
Red
and when you're in a close range combat, close range map with, oh she's being revenant. Close range map with low rank, you just run drizzle guns.
Yeah.
Damn, interesting team call. You got healing in, you got shield. Okay.
Introducing your champion.
Yeah, I think for competitive, like the best two legends I'm liking for support are this character and Loba. They're just the best practical.
Unplug my mouse.
Guys, the fucking jump master, please don't kill us.
No longer.
That's
Like I
silver too.
was land middle.
Okay.
It's kind of not even the best spot to loot though. I need like a go-to spot on this map. I
Yeah,
like this map, but I still don't have a good go-to spot. Yeah, my shoulder is like my neck and my shoulder has been killing me all day.
Dude, yeah, mine is too. What the fuck?
No idea.
It's like when I'm doing lifts, you like tighten your whole body. You're like really quiet by the way too. Maybe it's my thing.
I shouldn't be quiet.
I need to go into my options and like change people's voices on Discord. It's like when you do lifts, you like tighten all the muscles in your body, and sometimes they like kink a different muscle. Like,
Yeah, I know, right?
try and work this out.
Yeah. Oh man, I was literally like overhead pressing in the gym today, and was like struggling for the last rep, and felt like I was gonna pass out for a good 20 minutes afterwards. I'm like, oh god, I'm gonna black out. Like I'm like slowly starting to get my Apex legs back. It's definitely very not. Oh god. Oh god. Well, I'm getting attacked by a dude myself, bro. Also, my audio is too quiet.
We need to escape. We're getting attacked by another team as well. Oh wait.
Got one?
Oh, it's on me. I'm getting out. Oh, you got one down?
Yep.
I'm with you.
No, not one yet.
I don't have scopes. I don't have fucking shit.
I'm trying to res.
For 10. How'd that hit me? Yeah, he's alone. We can get on him. Oh, there's not. One. Oh!
Nice.
One more.
I was just trying to get me if you can.
Yep, come my way. Oh shit, I don't know where the other guys. I'm just gonna beat you up.
He's over there. He's behind the rock.
Oh, I got my Q.
Great if this guy's just like.
Picking up 2.
I think I hear him. I think he got his other teammate.
Yeah,
out.
what's going on?
Oh, okay. Yeah, I guess he just folded. That will work, dude.
Yo, got the banner. Should head to the beacon.
Charging
on my team.
Crazy.
I ought to grab an upgrade.
I don't know how that my rampage lined up 2 shots and just downed them like right with each other. And they must have been hurt somehow. You must have done the damage. What the fuck did our guy do?
He ran into all 3 of them and just died instantly. God damn. Also, man, the Havoc is like super mediocre now.
I got the shield with my rampage. Save my rampage. I like using the back row with it. I could do a rampage with a long pick gun, but I still need like it'd be nice to have a triple take. The problem with these other like guns that you gotta hold down to shoot forever is you leave yourself exposed. It does help that you have the shield a little bit, but it's still not enough.
Yeah. I just don't like guns that leave you exposed when you fire them. That's why I don't like SMGs. I'd much rather use a shotty. That's my audio levels here.
Got a car rampage. Do decent work with that.
Champion eliminated.
Can't escape.
There's a new champion. Beats us the last one got uncrowned.
Okay,
Oh, let
we
me
can
know
go
if you
over
find a
this
bolt.
way. We're in the circle. A bolt? Okay. Bolt, yeah.
Like
That's
triple take
actually pretty good gun.
folds or triple take L-Star. My favorite loadout this
Extended
season.
sniper mag here. Level 3.
Oh,
Save
wait.
that for me.
Stock.
Scratch that.
So you need a sniper stock for your take.
People?
Hey, Nita, we got some enemies right here.
I got your footsteps.
You can't escape death.
Black market over there.
Spotted an enemy.
On the left.
And they're not here to
Guy behind, guy behind.
Maybe right. Maybe not.
Flank, flank.
This is one shot. Let's go after him.
Here we go, here we go.
Oh shit!
I'm
I'm getting out. I'm being attacked.
Yeah, you got him. Hey, I got
Another
the kill.
team. There's another team. I'm getting out.
Yeah, you're good. I'm like way out of it.
Need more juice.
That's crazy.
I'm gone.
And then there were two.
The moment we
Yo.
fucking engaged.
Our
I weaved the
teammate-
fuck out of that guy and you got him at least. I mean, our teammate's awareness is shit and he's revving it. He should be
He does.
getting in and out.
Actually, has to be got that.
Yeah. Fuck, you're getting attacked by him.
That's what happens when we're in the center.
Right.
Why I love being Octane, baby. I am
I'm gonna
gone.
I'm gonna try to find a crafter. Octane is good, dude. He could actually get away, you know?
Sonic the Hedgehog.
Like, Revenant couldn't do that.
Amigos.
I'm playing the new Sonic game, and now I'm Sonic the Hedgehog in this game.
Yep.
I'm healing up.
Shit, I'm about to get the purple.
Healing.
Let's go to kick.
Heal up.
And when you run around like a chase.
Charging on my shields.
Let's see.
There might be a
Flame
spawn
says,
beacon
so we
in it,
played
too.
Phasmophobia starting from level 1 and got above level 10 out of all games.
Nice
So
respawn
we got
beacon.
the ghost type right and survived maybe 5 times out of 30.
Bolt.
Bolt SMG here.
Well, that's good that you guys at least know how to play, because I haven't
should
even
I
tried it
blind
yet.
right
I got
here?
it the other day, but I haven't tried it.
How about moving there?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay. Well, he's pinging at this spot. I kind of want to just get him on this roof right here.
So good, Flame. You can carry us at Phasma on Sunday. How's Pokemon Scarlet been going?
Calling a respawn beacon.
'Cause I don't want to carry that late game anyway.
And I forget, do you play the Pokemon games like competitively at all, or do you kind of just play the during something fun? I still never long range scope, dude. Jesus.
Oh, we haven't we don't have this powder? Oh shit.
Oh.
I thought you. Oh, I thought we
I thought
had
you
it.
grabbed it.
Still got some goodies inside.
Oh shit! I thought you grabbed it. Oh, we're in trouble.
Here,
Wow.
jump out, jump out.